Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Austin. Today, this is episode 86 of the Utopian community series. We're gonna get this loading up. Here we are. Some of those cocoa beans are ready to harvest. Punching those cocoa beans out, those ready to harvest cocoa beans out of the way. One by one. Hitler is a jerk. And for episode 88 of Utopian Community, I might talk about Asian culture because 88 is the lucky number in Eastern societies. No more guns in society, is what the Australian comedian said. Here we are. Here we are. In the meantime, I'm gonna check on my pumpkins. See if they're ready to harvest. Nope, not yet. And the me. Let's talk about some stuff too, like, have you heard of the Hunger Games before? Because I definitely have. The totalitarian state of Panem is loosely based on Nazi Germany. How? For starters, both President Snow put so many people into poverty, just like Hitler. Panem from the Hunger Games might actually be a fascist country. Who believes that only the rich should... Who believes that poverty should be used as punishment. In fascism, those who espouse fascism believe that poverty is used as punishment for disloyalty to the regime. They believe in extreme forms of Darwinism. Social and economic Darwinism. The truth is, it doesn't matter what skin color you are, we are all created equal. No matter what skin color you are, the shape of your nose, the size of your nose, the size of your mouth, we are all human no matter what. It doesn't matter the shape of your eyes. We are all human. But President Snow dehumanized everybody who... He kicked people out of the Capitol and left them to suffer. It's one of those horrible crimes he committed before he was assassinated by the rebellion in Panem. Which would have been the same fate of Hitler if he was captured by the Russians. There are some close calls to assassinating Hitler, actually. There are some close calls towards assassinating Adolf Hitler. Hitler and Stalin had one thing in common. They were both racist dictators. They were both anti-Semitic, meaning they hated Jewish people in the sense of ethnic groups. Truth is, no matter your hair it doesn't matter your hair texture. The hair texture does not dehumanize you. It's part of who you are as a person. It's your personality. If I ended up making a novel, I'd make a novel about the potential Fourth Reich. Like, I'd depict them as being... The supreme leader of the Fourth Reich would be the main antagonist of the novel. The concepts of that dictatorship would be ultranationalism. Another concept they would have would be speciesism. Not just racism, in a sense, but also speciesism, where you have a general hatred towards animals for the purpose of enslaving them. Or breeding them non-stop as part of the genocide program. Similar to how we breed our farm animals for food. In a similar manner. Fascism is extremely brutal, both on paper and in practice. How are we going to fight greed? Education. With Hitler, he refused to share his wealth with anyone. That's how greedy he was. He refused to share land with the Russians. He decided to steal land from Russia in World War II. He decided to steal money from everybody so he could fund his military. If Nazi Germany was still here today, they'd be smuggling drugs all over the world. Hitler would have been given the nickname Rocket Man. Just like how Cheese Puff gave Kim Jong-un the nickname Rocket Man to refer to his Rocket Man's nuclear weapons program. I'm going over to inventory. Get another axe. Here we are. Because the strength of my the axe I was using earlier in the episode has gotten weaker a lot. Because I was using it to harvest cocoa. And that Isle of Cocoa I just harvested means can build up a lot more cocoa in other isles. One cocoa bean's ready to harvest, by the way. Want to know what fascism is? It's a combination of totalitarianism, state capitalism, and ultranationalism. That's what fascism is. Where the country is ruled by an absolute ruler, in which he controls the entirety of the economy. A fascist country... Why I say he? Because all the fascist countries out there had a male ruler. There is no fascist country ruled by a woman. There was no fascist country controlled by a woman, because why? Usually fascist countries tend to be really sexist. Which is pretty bad. For this day and age. We need gender equality. That's what we need. Gender equality. If Hitler would have stopped the Russians in World War II and won World War II, there'd be no mentioning of the Holocaust in our history books in that possible alternative timeline. In fact, any mention of those 50 million deaths would have gotten you executed. Not only that, your whole family would have been executed along with you too, in the form of collective punishment. Or if one does a crime, their entire family gets punished for a number of generations. Which sucks. It's just not fair to punish an entire family if one commits a crime. If one person commits a crime, it's not fair for the whole family to be punished. It's just not fair. One of the most extreme forms of collective punishment is called ethnic cleansing, which is what Hitler did. It's one of the most extreme forms of collective punishment. What's even more extreme is causing the extinction of the human race as punishment for one for one person doing a really bad deed. That's the most extreme form of it. We don't want something like that. What's even worse, deliberately causing a mass extinction would get even worse. Mass extinctions make things even worse. Cracking my back, that's all. Like stretching it. And then the truth about the cause of our society's problems is the ones who are responsible for it are both the rich and the government. You know, libertarianism truth is, it's both the rich and the government collectively that are causing all those problems we have now. It's not necessarily the Americans. It's not necessarily the Americans. Would be even worse if Donald Trump started appointing people who abused animals into Congress. Things would get pretty bad. And those who abused the carcasses of animals, too. Like, did their thing on the carcass, which is not only desecrating a corpse, but just wrong. There's this thing you can do to your enemies in Halo, called teabagging. Or instead of doing it on the carcass of an animal, you're doing it on the carcass of your enemies. You're doing it on the carcass of your enemies, as a way to taunt them. It's actually pretty funny when you taunt them like that. That'll piss them off. Yes, that's gonna piss them off. That pissed him off. Desecration is abusing something that is sacred. The carcass of an animal Yes, I'd call eating meat desecrating the carcass of... if it involves an animal that was slaughtered, I'd consider that desecration by any animal, including a human. Because we are animals too. There's this game called Elite Dangerous, where you can pick a faction. Based... like, you could choose any ideology in that game. What if you could mix ideologies? Because that'd be even better. Like, what I believe is that all assets should be distributed based on our true needs. Like, both situational and non-situational need. One of our true needs is food, water, and shelter. Machines help us. One thing we need to do, and I believe that we need to go towards a post-scarcity economy, in which nothing is scarce, which everything's in abundance. On an interplanetary level. One of the factions you can choose in which those assets are distributed based on the true needs is communism. Like, based on Karl Marx's principle. Based on the principles of Karl Marx. Not called President FDR. I'd call him President Orwell. I'd call him President Orwell. Because with FDR, he was a leftist. For me, with FDR, I like to joke about his political orientation by calling him President Orwell. Why call him President Orwell? Because one thing FDR and Orwell have in common is that they're both against Joseph Stalin. And I myself personally am against Stalinism too. I believe that Stalinism is a form of fascism. Since corruption's on the rise around the world, which is a seriously big problem in our society, there are people out there paving our roads since the government won't do it. Which is a good thing. It's pretty nice of us to do that. Even though it might be illegal, there are people out there doing everything they can. Just like, if the janitor is not there, and someone makes a mess, somebody has to clean it up. Somebody's gotta clean it up. This is it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video, dislike if you disliked it, subs if you loved it, and as always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. And as always, if you want more updates on my my Utopian community series, follow me on Instagram at Gaming with Austin. As always, thank you for watching. See you next time.